Hey, 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 hey. Welcome back to Ladyz Talk on K84 Podcast, the place for safe and inclusive conversations for everyday Americans. We about to get into it. Hey, boss, roll that intro.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Ladyz Talk on K84 Podcast.
It's official.
Ladyz Talk on K84 Podcast. Today we have our lovely Amanda on the end.
Hey, hey.
Beautiful Jasmine.
Hey.
Tracy.
Hi.
Marissa.
Hey, y'all.
I'm your host, Laura Christine, and we are missing Alex today. So today's topic is, are men and women equal? But before we get into it, we have to do our intro icebreaker. So tell me, what is your best? You're not actually going to tell me, you're going to show me.
Oh.
What? Oh, that's different. See, what is your best or funniest animal sound? And I'm going to you first, Amanda.
Okay, I don't know that it's good, but it's all I got.
Let's hear.
A bird.
Okay. Girl, that's a whistle. That's all I got.
That was good.
These sounds are gonna kill me. Jasmine, I know you got one.
I'm torn between Dory as a whale or a duck.
Ooh.
I'm gonna do the duck because I don't think I could do Dory. I can't be serious enough.
But I think that would
Wait, you
sound
know how you do the-
hilarious.
You got it. You got this.
duck?
Dory as a whale?
Go for it, man.
Do
you
it.
want? What you
Do
want?
it. I want
The
Dory.
whale.
Dory. I'm so nervous. Everyone's anxiety. Sign me.
She did good. She did good.
Way better than mine.
Yours was not an animal sound. Yours was a
I got
whistle.
nothing.
Yours
Bird
was
is an animal. At least it is
yeah.
an animal.
I'm gonna meow. To just
That
make
was
this
mine.
I forgot about.
She got it first.
meow.
Can you imagine if that's what a cat actually sounded like?
Meow. Excuse me, madam. Meow. That's my cat.
I was gonna meow.
I think you
took
should do a
mine.
real meow.
Yeah.
Okay. I grew up in China, so cats say Mao in China.
Are you kidding me?
That's the
What,
noise.
they speak a
like
different
in
language?
English, in English, we say cats say meow. In China, they say cats say Mao.
Oh, okay.
But I have a deaf cat, and she actually meows, not meows.
okay.
She goes, Mao, Mao, because she can't hear herself. So, that's my cat.
Oh
I
my
thought you were
gosh.
saying the cat's actually
Mao,
meowed.
Mao, instead of meow. See the difference?
Mm.
She's Chinese.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. I can't do this. Okay.
Bark like a dog.
Damn dogs. All right. Anyways, I'm really. I think you won that one, Jasmine.
Oh,
Yeah,
did you go?
Totally.
Yeah. No, I did. I barked.
That was her woof.
I barked.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Like I could do a. Oh, it hurt.
You sounded like that. That is so.
You really did. Yeah. Okay. We'll talk after, boss. All right. So today's topic. Getting back into it. Are men and women equal? Now, initially, when like this topic came up, we all had our initial responses. I just want to point out, equal doesn't necessarily mean the same, right? In certain aspects, in the elephant in the room, like physically, men and women are not the same. The question is, are they equal? So equality can refer to equal status, rights, treatment, wages, things like that. But let's talk about the thing that our brains automatically go to, right? Like men and women, physically, it's the thing that we see all the time. So there are like biological differences. Obviously, we have chromosomal differences, hormones. Men have stronger bones, tendons, ligaments, overall strength, endurance, total body mass, different enzyme levels, fibers, testosterone, just to name a few, right? Men also have 90% stronger upper body strength and 30% lower body strength. So on average, that's average. Not everyone, because, some men are pretty weak. Not just joking. That's just emotionally and mentally.
That's
not
crazy
just physically.
That's crazy to know that they're essentially twice as strong as us, upper body.
Twice
average.
as strong.
Well, like, is that not the right way to say it?
No, it's more. It's almost 100%.
Yeah.
90%.
So like 1 and 1. So like a 2 for 1.
Yeah.
2-to-1 ratio.
Well, think about it. It would be so easy for them to pick us up and carry us versus could you imagine us trying to pick up what they don't do?
Hey, I did that though. On my wedding day, the photographer's like, okay, pick your bride up. And he was getting ready to have hernia surgery, so he couldn't lift. And I was like, I'll do it. I'll pick him up. And we have a photo of me carrying him. So that's funny.
And
Don't
that's
put limits
just
on a
it.
woman.
That's just it. Women can. Women can. Overall, you never know which AI is telling you, but it's like 40 to 60% on average that a whole body, a man is stronger than a female.
Wow.
So all you got to do is break a couple kneecaps, and we might have a equal chance.
Couple
just
kneecaps.
yeah.
Super casual kneecaps.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Who's using them?
Yeah, what you gonna do without your legs? You gotta use them strong arms, right?
But I can't
that's only
think
if
of
you're
strength and not think of a woman's strength in child labor. Like that to me is stronger than anything I've ever seen a man do. So I feel like we are strong in a certain way, stronger than a man.
Well, when it comes to pain tolerance, science indicates that women are actually like far more, we'll use the word stronger versus superior. But yeah, they say men are babies,
Well, I mean, there is what do we call it? Man flu?
The man cold.
There you go. It's
I don't
a
feel
thing.
good.
What is that? Is that when they get sick when you get sick? What's man flu?
No. Man flu is like, okay, you take a woman and we will go to work while we have a sinus infection, the flu, like feeling horrible,
Literally
and
whatever.
we'll push through.
Pregnant.
Men are like, I have to stay home.
That's
And they want you to baby them and, all that stuff. That's man flu.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. Interesting.
It's
I've
about
never
pain
heard
tolerance.
of that. But I'm curious though, like our pain tolerance, I definitely do believe is higher than men's. But with them having like, I guess, like we said, a 2-to-1 ratio in terms of like physical strength, why can't they endure pain? I'm confused.
Mystery.
Well, my massage therapist told me that women that she massages can handle, yeah, that was right, can handle a lot more pain than men, on their back especially. So I don't know why men can't handle the pain.
I mean,
but-
biologically, we're the ones delivering babies. We have
Yeah.
to be able to handle pain.
No, and that makes sense. I
We were
don't-
doing it in the woods with no epidurals for a while.
crazy times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, I don't think physical strength has like, a huge correlation to like pain tolerance. But I've always been curious, is it just the fact that we, rear the children or however you say that, have kids. There we go.
Child bearers.
Child
Maybe
bearers,
it's more mental than maybe it's more mental strength than physical strength.
Well, even just our monthly cycle, like that's pain every month, and we still go to work and act like we're not wanting to crawl on the floor crying, but we do. We want to, but we suck it up because we have to. So like every single month, we've gone through that since 12 years old, and so we kind of just learned to deal with pain. Men don't know that kind of pain.
Yeah.
That's valid, yeah.
I think that's just how God designed us.
Yeah.
He designed us to be able to handle pain.
Mm-hmm. We have to.
It's kind of sad.
And men, well, Bless their
Yeah,
hearts.
it
They're
is
stronger
They needed us,
physically.
which is also how God designed them.
There you go.
Can we get to that?
Yes.
Got me, partner.
Yes. We can get into that. So, do you guys think that, okay, so when I have just asked men, like, are men and women equal, and, just browsing random, like, social media accounts, like, men are absolutely, like, absolutely not. We're the best. We're the head. We're dominant. You need to submit to us. We're in charge. Like, that's like the automatic response. I was really trying to dig for different perspectives where it's like, oh no, women are honored. And I was actually surprised because, like, just searching, the one community that I found it, and it seemed to be a pretty strong theme within that community, was within the Muslim community. Really? Which is surprising because we have this view of, like, oh, they treat women...
They're oppressed. Yeah.
They're not allowed to work. They're not allowed to this. They're not allowed to do that. But when they speak about their women, they hold them to a very high position of value within the community. So I found that pretty interesting.
What?
Sir.
Romance, which it's funny because you would think, like, in traditional American cultures tends to be more Christian, and you get I am generalizing here, okay? I'm not speaking. There's a lot of fantastic Christian men, a lot of probably not so great Muslim men. You know what I'm saying?
Don't come for her is what she's saying.
Yes. We're totally generalizing, based off of social media. Jeez.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
This video.
But exactly. But it's more in, like, the Christian cultures where you get that, like, I'm the head of the household from men. And so I thought that was really interesting. So it's kind of American, well, it's the whole world. We'll get into some statistics, but
I mean, like, I'm not good at geography, but, like, didn't all that start, like, in Jerusalem? So isn't that over there kind of close to, people with different cultures and backgrounds? So I think that maybe because it's from Jerusalem, or y'all help me out. Where is Jerusalem?
it's the whole
I'm drowning
world.
here.
It's
I don't
Middle
know.
Eastern.
I think it's
the
Middle
whole
Eastern culture,
religion
so
came
I
from
think
that area. But
and Christians just
I was
adopted it
gonna
in some odd
say,
way.
Yeah, a lot of Christian thinking comes from that original idea, like, men were created first and women came from his side, so she's a second thought. And the fall of humankind happened because the woman ate the fruit first. She was disobedient, so it's your fault. And so a lot of that disagreement comes from that blame game of creation and the fall and whose fault it was. And I like to think of it as the Bible says God created the world and everything was good. Or he didn't say it was good until he created Eve. Like, it was not good for man to be alone, he said. About everything else in creation, it is good. But when he created man and he was alone, it was not good. And then when he created Eve, a helpmate for him, and a lot of people mistranslate that and say, oh, that means someone to spit on or be your servant. But that word helpmate is actually used like 30 times throughout the Old Testament to describe God himself, the way he helps us and elevates us and lifts us up.
Oh.
So we're not helpmate like the servant. We're helpmate like God-like to
So
elevate you.
the whole, like, we came from Adam. Guess what Adam came from?
The dirt.
Dust. Homie. Hey, you ain't nothing either. You're nothing without the breath of God, and we got the same breath.
That's
okay? So, yeah. I think they forget that part. You're like, come from my ribs.
I like that. We got the same breath.
Ashes to ashes.
Save me, somebody.
Another thing when it looking at, like, equality and how religion views, men and women, one of the things that stood out to me was that in the Bible, the church filled with men and women are referred to the bride. The bride is the prize, not the masculine man who, like, I'm coming for my groom. I just think that that's interesting because if men are so much more elevated than us, then wouldn't that automatically be more masculine as the prize, right? Additionally, the Bible says that a man who finds a wife finds favor with the Lord. Not a woman who finds a dominant man who provides for her, gives her everything that she wants, and makes sure that he can go kill a bear with his bare hands and feed the home, right? I just think that I'm just pointing out things that I found interesting because I do think that traditionally, just like on the men's on Men Talk, men are here, women are here, the pecking order, like that is the societal view, especially from men. And I also think that that's the view that makes women have to feel like they need to have, their whole feminism is a movement to show I can do those things. Everything that you think that you're better than me for, let me show you. And so they push women with those types of attitudes. Now, granted, of course, we also need to make men feel appreciated, right, for the things that they bring to the table. And I think there can be pieces of men feeling like they don't feel valued or they have to prove their value, and so they have to bring that machismo to the table. Last thing I found when looking at the just the religious view is that a man is described as the head of the household, right? But woman is described as the crown of both creation and her husband. Oh, a good woman. A poor wife is like a dripping faucet
like
where you're like,
right?
she's driving me crazy. Oh, anything to just turn her off, right? But I just feel like if men are so much better than us, up here, we're down here,
FBI, open up!
then when you look at it as a whole, how do you just completely shut the book on those things? Why do you think it's so easy for men to just be like, no, we're by far number one?
Well, I think America did a pretty good job of weaving that into the fabric of, our nation. And so propaganda works, regardless of whatever side of the scale you sit on, And I think that when we have a world where women cannot get bank accounts till the 70s, you know what I'm saying, and other constraints put on them, it's incredibly easy to live in that state of denial, because since it's so woven in America's DNA, it's hard to eradicate. So, and I think it's an easier pill to swallow that I'm a man and I'm better versus I'm a man and I should probably be better, so.
No! God, please, no!
Men, you ask them a question and usually they'll give you a definitive answer. Whereas women, we're like, well, that depends. And we look at all the different aspects of whatever the question is. So I think it's just kind of, men have egos. So they're more likely to be like, well, yeah, we're better, Whereas women, we sit there and analyze things.
Yeah.
I feel like we're taught since infancy that we're worthless. It's just constantly ingrained in us. You're not good enough unless a man loves you. You're not good enough unless you look this way, or you have this body type, And so it's just always, you're not enough. You don't measure up. So that's what we're constantly hearing. So you're right. We're brainwashed to believe that we're less than.
No!
Yeah, I don't think they view women as actual beings with needs. We're there to fulfill a need.
Yeah.
But we are not allowed to be complex. And so I've always found that incredibly strange because, I'm like, man or woman, if you look at somebody, and only see them as a needs to an end. I mean, we already had our discussion on what was that, people being psychotic or something like that. So I don't know. Y'all go listen to that one. But yeah, so I think, just with women, we aren't allowed to be complex, have needs, all of that. So, yeah.
So you mentioned the 70s. I read that and I didn't put that in here. I'm like, there's no way that can be right. And I didn't have time to go look it up. But
yeah.
I mean, it's 2024 and I don't know the exact number, but I want to say it was 70-ish%. Women only have 70-ish% the amount of rights in the Constitution and bylaws that men have.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, 178 countries have legal barriers preventing women from participating in the economy today. 2.4 billion women.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then 2.4 and the average woman has 3/4 the legal rights of men today.
Yeah.
So, and then let's not even get into like slavery.
I mean, let's not even get into Roe versus Wade.
Exactly. There's so many things where you can't deny the inequality. There was some talking points that I was like, yeah, how do you explain that, right? So, women, one of the comments was that women can't be equal because we have to appeal to men for our equality.
We do.
Wow.
But only, am I wrong? But is it only because they dominate us physically? If we were equal genetically and stature and weight and strength, do you honestly think men would be here and women would be here?
Like, would we even have to fight for our right to vote or work if they weren't bigger than us in the first place? Like, who's to say they had that authority to put us in that place? Like,
Yeah, how did it
that's
start?
a good point.
Right. But I do think that even if we were on the same playing field, that more so, in my opinion, the struggle is more so mental. Because you mentioned slavery, right? And one of the crazy things about slavery is like it could be 2 masters on that plantation full of 300 people. And in your mind, you're reading this and you're like, well, why aren't they, rioting? Boston Tea Party this bitch. Like, I don't understand what's going on. But they didn't, because mentally it had a hold on them, right? So even the numbers, and even still to this day, we're held back in certain ways. And so, so I think that, but you made a really good point about we have to appeal to men, and people say all the time, like, men tend to only respect women that they're attracted to, and respect is used incredibly loosely here. But yeah.
Good point.
So, basically, men can exert their dominance and will over women, but we cannot do the same. So, they inherently have the upper hand. And so that paired with a lot of religious preachings and things in the Bible that the man is the head of the household, it is no wonder that they believe that. They believe that they are not equal to women. But it's funny because when you look at the list of things that men are better at than women, it's the traditional things. Like, we know you guys can go hunt and find food for us. You can build us a house. You can go to war and you can protect us, right? But then once you get past the things that they tout as, like, their fame as far as being the dominant sex, like the list starts falling off a little bit, right? So can you guys guess some of the things that women are better at according to science? And this came from thoughtcatalog.com, but according to science, which we believe in, right? Research studies.
Say communication.
Communication
Just based on this talk show alone, like watching the men's talk versus the females. I mean, like, we may not be the smartest, but it seems like we got something to say. And them, I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, are you talking? Like, they're just making up stuff. So I feel like we have
that's because they're here and we're here.
Actually,
the pecking order.
I don't know what it is. Emotional connection. Like, we're just better at that. We're able to communicate and talk. Guys just aren't gifted so much in that area.
I think we're more strategic thinkers than men. Like, I don't know that this is just my relationship or this is like a male-female dynamic, but my husband
Great lady,
is very,
I talked to her backstage.
my husband is very, like, mechanically inclined. Like, he can solve a problem that's like, this needs to be fixed, where I'm like, this don't even make sense, right? But if it's like a thought problem, something that you have to solve for that might not even happen or is coming down the pipeline or like whatever, I just feel like we are more gifted at that because we can see wider and farther.
Yeah.
So, according to International Journal of Business Governance and Ethics, female-led companies are more successful than those led by men. Women are more fair. This is according to science. They're found to be more fair, compassionate, trustworthy, collaborative, inclusive, empathetic, and adaptable. And on a side note, on a second study by Boston Consulting Group, female entrepreneurs are far to be more profitable than double by male counterparts on average. And then that's just talking about business. Okay, so communication is totally in there. Being strategic. I want to get into some of the other things that women appear to be better at, but in general, women, we put those things get swept under the rug often, right? So in addition to the communication, intelligence across the board.
Yeah. Women
Tend to be smarter, which is funny because like my honey, he'll say like men are stupid. Men are just stupid. And like we're having conversations about this topic. I'm like, I don't understand how, men cannot appreciate women, or, how easy it is for a man to throw away a good woman. That it like, I don't know why it got under my skin, but on one of the comments on Men Talk, like men,
Yes, sir, but
men age like fine wine and women age like milk.
What?
Like, hold on. Wait.
you understand?
I know.
That was actually on Men Talk.
It was a comment. He didn't say it, but it was in a comment.
Oh, someone
there
commented
you go.
on the show.
Just 'cause I'm black,
Yeah.
don't mean
Okay.
I'm dumb.
So, but the thing is, technically, one of the things women are better at is living.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait,
We live longer.
I've heard this before. I'm like glitching out. I've heard this is said often, like men just age so much better than women, or men just get better with age, I think is what I hear most often. And I never was like, no, that's not true. I was just like, oh, okay. And now that I think about it, is it because they're telling us that?
Right.
Like, is it because we're more accepting of natural aging than men are?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow.
85% of humans over 100 are
Are women.
women. 85%. So I got your milk. You know what I'm saying?
And your cottage cheese.
Yes.
There you go.
Shoot. And
Why are you
also,
running? Why are you running?
memory is actually also something that women scientifically do better at. And guess what? Ding, 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 ding. The gap between men and women with age grows. Meaning our memory gets better compared to our male counterparts with age. But again, I got your milk. So, I take offense to the fact that men think that they are just the cat's meow, and women are like disposable based on what you bring to the table. Like, that's not equality. If we're talking about are men and women equal, the view alone, to me, that's not equal. I think they need a dose of like science.
I mean, I don't think I have any male in my life that I feel like looks at me as like disposable or like disvalued or anything like that. I think this is more systemic and like ingrained and maybe even subconscious for a lot of men. If that's the case, like it kind of sounds like they had to make us think we were like less to survive. Like maybe it's like a deep survival skill like buried in the back of their brain.
Maybe
That list was real short.
because
Okay.
women are more sensual, and I'm not talking about sex, but I mean, our senses are better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I smell danger.
Our
Literally.
instincts right on.
Yes. Okay. So we're better at that. Also, we're better at finding things. Like,
What is that about?
it's a superpower.
Like, what is that thing
I can't
called?
subscribe to that one.
Where men purposefully act stupid so that they don't have to do it again.
Oh,
What is that
no.
called?
What is it?
Weaponized.
Incompetence.
Incompetence.
Thank you. Weaponized incompetence. So, like, I believe in science. I'm a woman of science. I totally 100% agree with them. But I'm also like, some of this, like, y'all are expected or crafted to be hunters, but you can't find your damn, body wash. That's crazy to me. So, some of this, I'm like,
Or I just can't get this dish clean. You do it so well. Can you show me again? How do you do it?
I would have like, you better find a tutorial on YouTube because I cannot help you. That's crazy.
Yes, that's because they're.
Yeah, my woman brain just simply won't get it.
Yes, yes. Pecking